Hey there, it's Chris from Good Roads, and over the past few weeks on the channel I've been developing a kit along with the team at Roarockit that you guys will be able to get your hands on and use to press your own freestyle longboard deck. In the last video, I got my final mold design worked out. I used it to press a blank, and in this video I'm going to be shaping that blank, refining the shape, and getting it out on the pavement to see if it's any good. So, fingers crossed that everything goes according to plan. Let's head down to the shop and get cracking. I had transferred the center line of the geometry from the mold to the blank, so the first thing I need to do is mark the midline of my deck and then give myself reference marks for the wheelbase. I used the template I designed for the previous version to mark the shape of the deck on the blank. I was really happy with that shape, so there aren't any updates I want to make this time around. It's really good the way it is. Then it's over to the bandsaw to rough cut the deck. Last time, I did a really rough job shaping the deck, what with it being a prototype and all. But this deck is going to be the reference that the team at Roarockit uses to make the kits, so I want to get it as perfect as possible. I started by using the belt sander to bring the rough cut edge down to the line, checking my shapes frequently to make sure that everything was looking smooth and even. Next, I used a palm sander to refine the shape and start rounding the rails. Then, to finish off the rails, I moved over to this soft sanding spindle. Next up, I've got to drill my mounting holes, and to get that job done, I'm using this, which is a prototype for the new and improved Scarab drilling guide. I've crammed a ton of utility into this new design, and I am so excited to share it with you guys, so make sure you're subscribed. The release is going to be next Tuesday. I actually decided to drill for two wheelbases on this deck, one at 24 inches and one at 22, and that'll give you all some options about how you set up your board. And dang, that deck looks great. I am so happy with how that came out. And here you can see how those wheel flares came through from the updated mold. Normally I have a strict don't put effort into graphics on prototypes policy, but I mean, when a deck comes out this good, you gotta give it at least a little love. So I gave it a quick wash of color using some diluted RIT dye, sealed up the deck with a couple layers of poly, and dropped the brand. Where I smeared it. I might have smeared it.
That's not too shabby. Not bad for my first time with real ink.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Let's get it on the hill.
Get a drink of water.
get out there. Do it again. I've still got a lot of practice to put in before I'm laying down anything that resembles an impressive thane line, but I had a ball of a time getting this board out in the beautiful spring weather, riding a little bit more aggressively and putting it through its paces. The curves feel great underfoot, the concave is a nice comfortable depth, it takes on a little bit more of a V shape in the wheel flares underfoot, which makes it really easy to initiate turns. The steeper kicks and the size of the kicks is working much better than the older, more shallow versions, and I liked the shape to begin with, but I like it so much more now that I've taken the time to get everything really refined, polished, and smooth. Over the years that I've been involved in the board building hobby, I've probably built on the order of 20 longboard decks, and I can easily say that this is the nicest longboard that I've ever pressed. And now I have to put it in a box and send it away. Yep, I'm sending the final deck, mold, and my templates over to the team at Roarockit so they can reference them and prep the kits, make the molds, cut the veneers, and get the details just right. They've got to do all the work of getting the kits streamlined for manufacturing, so it might take a little while, but keep an eye out on social media. I'll let you guys know when the release happens. And before I sign off, I want to share one last thing about this deck design with you. It's my goal here on the channel to get you guys making your own gear for board sports. So when Roarockit approached me about this project, of course I said yes. I wanted to develop a shape that would make an excellent ride, lower the barrier to entry, and get more of you out there pressing your own boards. But I had a secondary goal. I wanted to make a shape that was highly customizable, a kit that you could use right off the shelf and get an excellent board, or one that you could modify and make into a shape that's a little bit more of your own. And that's actually how I arrived at my decision to do a twin kicktail freeride shape. Check it out. Oh. You can chop it into a single kickboard. You can lob off both tails and make a downhill brick. You can slim it down to a single kick cruiser, or a different style of freeride deck altogether. There are a huge number of ways you can modify this shape to make all kinds of crazy boards. Additionally, I've been talking with Ted at Roarockit about having a couple options for the kit with regards to veneers. We might be able to work it so that you have a choice between some bamboo, birch, and maple combos that will allow you to make a decision about some of the qualities of the flex of your deck. If you'd like those options, let me know in a comment down below so I can pass it along. And speaking of comments, there's been a lot of discussion about whether you might be able to use additional clamps or press the deck just a couple veneers at a time in order to get steeper, more aggressive curves. And of course you can. If you guys feel like tackling some more advanced techniques, go for it. I have 3 or 4 different videos on the channel at this point about how to make this style of mold. You guys, you've seen how it's done. Please, take my mold shape, modify it, rework it, make the geometry your own. Because if I can get you to press one of my decks, that is cool. Like, so very cool. Legitimately, I am thrilled to get my work out there into your hands so that you can utilize it to start making boards. But if you were to take my design and modify it and press a board that would not exist, would not have come into the world if you weren't the one making it, well, now we're talking. So, for now, it's off to Roarockit with this deck, the nicest longboard I've ever made. Thanks so much to them for reaching out about this collaboration and providing the materials for the project, and hey, who knows, maybe it'll make it back to me someday. If you got questions or comments, leave them down below. If you like the content and feel like supporting the channel, why not pitch in a little over on Patreon? Support from the fine people right here and viewers like you are what keep the channel running, keep the shop fresh with supplies, and allow me to tackle these projects every week. If you like the project and want to see what other awesome DIY board sport shenanigans I get up to, you just are gonna have to go ahead and click that subscribe button. And as always, I love having you guys along for the ride. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Deck shape is so rad. Hyped on it. Hate it. I need to slide more, but I totally got that.